Hi all, welcome to Tech Forum. In this video, let us see how to design the AEM website using editable template and layout container. Editable template. Editable template feature is introduced in AEM 6.2. This allows specialized authors called template authors to create and edit the templates without developer involvement. Template authors must be members of the template authors group. Provide templates that in a dynamic connection to any pages created from them. So this ensure that any change in the template are reflected in the pages dynamically. So this makes the page component more generic. So the core page component can be used without customization to create multiple templates. So in earlier we used to create different variation of page rendering component. The developer used to develop. So then the page rendering component, using the page rendering component, they will create the template. So then author use the corresponding template to create their pages. But here we can use a generic page rendering component. So then template authors can create different template and configure them. So editable template has a option called structure. This allows us to define components and content for the template. The components defined in the template structure cannot be moved on a resulting page. Even we will not be able to delete from the resulting pages. So the paragraph system or responsive grid should be added to enable page authors to add or remove the components. So there is a content policy option. So this defines the design properties of a component. So earlier we used to define it in design mode. Now there is no design mode. This content policies helps us to define the design properties. There is option again initial content. This defines the content that will appear when the page is first created based on the template. This initial content can then be edited or removed by the page authors. Okay, let's quickly see the editable template with static template. Static template, this is created by developers. So developer defines a page rendering component, then they will make availability of this template to the authors for create the page. Editable templates can be created by template authors. So static template is stored under /apps folder in the project. So editable template is stored in /conf. So static template, the name itself says static. Once a page is created using this template, so whatever the change we make after that to the template will not get reflected to the page. So editable template is dynamic. So whatever the change we perform to the template even after create the page will get reflected to the page. Design mode is available for static template for applying the page design. Editable template, there is no design mode. So this is controlled by the design configurations are controlled by content and page policies. Now code change is required to modify the structure in the static template because the structure is defined by the developer in the code. So we need to perform a code change to change the structure. But in editable template, no code change is required. The configuration changes is enough. That can be performed by template authors. Static template use parser system to enable the authors to add or remove the components. So editable template uses responsive grid. Okay, next is the AEM grid and layout container. This AEM grid is actually the style sheet for the responsive grid system, which is part of the layout container. So AEM grid was designed for responsive authoring, where the author can manage the layout and flow of content without being dependent on the development workflows. The layout container allows content authors to add and position the component within that responsive grid. So the template authors can structure the template. So the location of the component and the initial content and all those things can be performed by the template author. The layout container can be configured as a component to be dropped onto the page, because anywhere this component can be like other component, the layout container can be dropped into the page in the container. So or it can be a root component of the editable template, so that other components can be added. There is a layout mode. Author can use this layout mode to specify the responsive behavior, such as the span of columns, decide, hide or show the content for specific breakpoints, and they can preview that breakpoint for the devices. So the emulator, there is option emulator, configuration emulator. This allows user to render content related to the emulator devices such as tablet, iPhone, etc. The component independent of responsive authoring can leverage own responsive framework. We already in the first point we told this is second point. This is mainly for responsive authoring, this AEM grid. So any component it's outside of this responsive authoring, like example header or footer. So they can just use the own responsive framework like Bootstrap. So Bootstrap and AEM Grid work together. So we can use for component responsiveness, we can use Bootstrap, and authoring responsiveness, we can use the AEM Grid. Okay, so now let's see the demo. This demo is built on AEM 6.5. So I have a responsive page designed with HTML and Bootstrap. So let's see how to design the same page in AEM with editable template and grid. So let me show you that page. Yeah, this is the page. So I have a header and some images and footer. So this page is already responsive. It's built based on Bootstrap. Yeah. So now we need to design the same page in AEM. So let me show you the, yeah, so I have some JS, mainly jQuery, Min, Bootstrap, then I have some CSS, Bootstrap, and some custom style CSS. Let me show you this index.html. Yeah, this is like yeah, normal HTML with Bootstrap. Okay, so I'm going to create a sample project with archetype 18. So even you can enable this in the existing project, but if you are doing it in the existing project, you have to create the template types manually, then like a template types, policies, everything you have to do it manually. So but because I am going with a sample project, it's having a sample page rendering component, sample template type, everything is enabled already, so I am going to use that. Okay, so before start creating the project, ensure this repositories are configured in the settings.xml in the maven config. So the repository and the plugin repository, so both should be configured. Okay, now let me go and to create a project. Okay, execute this command to create the project. I am creating the project with the archetype version 18. So let me go and execute this. Okay, let me execute. Okay, let me on the editable demo. All other data can be default. Okay, the project is created. Yeah, deploy this project now. So lgn clean install -p install auto install package. Oh, there is something wrong there. Auto install package. Yep. Okay, the deployment is completed now. Let's go and see this. Look at the configs in this ERXDE. Okay, if you go under conf first, so yeah, there is a folder called editable demo. Go under settings, WCM. So go to template types. So if you see there is a empty page template, you just open that. So now there is a three section: initial, policy, structure. We have seen what is the purpose of each one. So structure, if you go into the structure, so it's a type CQ colon page. Then if you go into the JCR content, the resource type is the page rendering component path, editable demo. So whatever it's automatically created already. So I will show you that the component structure page. It's of type page content. Now there is a folder node called root. This of type responsive grid. This is a root responsive node. So in that node we can add another components. And then this is another important. This is to enable the responsiveness, the layout mode. So CQ responsive, then with the breakpoints configuration. So two breakpoints configured, phone and tablet. The bit for 650 and the tablet is 1200. So this AEM grid supports three breakpoints: see phone, tablet, and the default one. So this is the structure. Then if you go into initial, so initial of type again page, JSR content is again pointing to the same page rendering component, but nothing configured now. Same thing with policies. So policies is of type CQ page, like mapping policies as mapping. Then nothing configured for now anyhow. So now that's our template type. Then there is a policies. You can see like all this policy configuration will be coming under this node. Then there is a templates, like there is a default template created with a content page, but anyhow we will be creating our own template for this. So this is all about this conf settings. So now let us go to the apps one. So if you see here, there is again editable template. So if you see here components, go under structure, there is a page component. This is the default page rendering. It's a generic page rendering component. If you see, only we have footer lib and header lib. There is no body or any other HTML elements defined. So it's a generic. So this same page rendering component can be used by template author to define say all the required templates. So then some core components are available. If you go under the content, these are all the core components. So this is because we generated a sample project. So that sample project created all this. But if you going with the existing project or the project from scratch, you have to do all this configuration, that the template type and page rendering component, all those things. So for that first step, what you need to do is you need to enable this editable template for the project. So what you can do is you can go here. Anyway, it's already enabled for our demo purpose, but I'm sure like if you want to do that, go into this configuration content view.html/conf configuration browser. Yeah, so if you see, there is a node called editable template already created. If this you are doing it from scratch, you can just put your project name here, select on this editable templates, so that you can do it. Anyway, I am ignoring that stuff for now. Okay, so now one more configuration we need to note here is the emulator configuration. If you go under here, so you can see a conf.author, so in the editable demo apps folder. So there is a configuration, OSA configuration node created for mobile emulator provider. So with our project name here, if you see here the resource types, yeah, so the page rendering component path is specified here, editable demo component structure page. If you are adding more editable component, that should be configured here. This will help you to enable the emulator, mobile emulator in the template editor. Yeah, so now anyway we are going with one template, but in the demo we will be seeing another, we will be creating another page rendering component that needs to be configured here. Yeah, so now one more thing, let me show you the grid CSS grid.ls. So yeah, go in the client libs. So if you go under client lib site, you can, there is a less folder. Yeah, just open this. Yeah, this is the grid.less. So this is the CSS or less file will provide the responsive grid. So you can see here the max call 12. So it's a the default column values are configured with 12. Then like this all basic configuration, you can go under, this is the base file, so it's under libs, you can go under, you can do that. For my case demo purpose, I am going to change this, 12 to 16 because I need more granular way to add the component. So because 12 will be more, a little more I will not be able to add the components as required, so I am changing this to 16. Okay, so now what we do is like so now we are going to develop the same project in AEM. So what we do is, as a first step, we will let us load all the CSS and JavaScript into this project. Further, what I am going to do is like under this client site. So let me add the JavaScript first. Create a folder called JS. Okay. Now create another file with the name js.txt. Okay, that's fine. Now under this JS file, you go and create JS, bootstrap.min.js. Okay, let me create new file here. copy paste this content. Okay, done. Now let me create another file called jQuery min.js. Okay, let me go here, create file jQuery min.js. Let me copy this. Okay, this is done. Now go under this. Okay, maybe I put it under directly, so I will put it in the JS folder. Okay, now go into the js.txt, just add js slash bootstrap.min.js. Another one is js slash jQuery.min.js. Yeah, this is done. Now let us add the css, create another folder called css. Okay, now go here, I need to create this css bootstrap min.js. Create new file min.js. So let me add this first. Okay, css slash, this is done. Now let me go here and copy this. Okay, it's done. I want to put another style.css. Okay, let me copy this. Style.css. Now I will go here. css slash style.css. Okay, so also add if any additional JavaScript or CSS required. So for our demo purpose, this all required. So that's completed. Now let us go and identify the components from this page. So like anyway, I defined a designed a very simple page. It is easy visible to like locate the component. So obviously there is a like a header component. So it's having the navigation bar and search bar. So now we have another section here. There is a image and there is a text. So this obviously this header is going to be a component. So custom component we need to develop. Then next one is this one. This one my understanding we don't want to go with a custom component. We can have a two section here. One is one image and another one is a text. So we can add the text whatever required. So this is going to be a standard component. Two standard component we can use to achieve this. Now the next one is, yeah, there is a title. So obviously we can go with the text over here. There is a text component we can go. So then next is the image with the description. So we have three columns here. So obviously this should be structured. Obviously same thing for this also. We need to structure as a two column. So then this would be structured as a three column, and this one we can use a standard teaser component. So image and description can be added. No need to develop a new custom component. And the last one is the footer. This is another custom component. So totally we are going to develop two custom component. One is header and another one is footer. Then we are going to use the standard text and image, then teaser components. Then obviously the template author is going to structure this page as required. First there is a header, then like this structure, two column, then like a title, then there is a three column, then the footer. Okay, now like let's create a header and footer components. So for that go here again. So under this minimize this, go under the components, under the structure, like create a component with a name header. Yeah, header. Yeah, group I will keep it as a editable demo. one thing what you have to do is rename this header.jsp to header.html. To enable this component in the template, we need to create a node with the name dialog or CQ edit config. So I am going to create an edit config, CQ edit config. So of type CQ edit config. Okay, this is fine. Okay, now let me create another component, the name footer. Okay, changing here footer. Okay, same group, that's fine. Go ahead and create it. Okay, save this. Do the same change. Rename this footer.jsp to HTML. Okay, now create a node CQ colon edit config, that's fine. Okay, two components are created. So now what we need to do is like we need to like put that HTML whatever required. So for that what I will do is I will go to this edit.html index.html file. This is the HTML we are going to design it in the AEM. So here you can see there is a navigation defined. So this is the section provide the navigation. I just copy this, so and go and put it in this header.html. This is fine. Now same thing, go and check the footer. So if I go and check the footer, there is a footer defined. Yeah, footer. Just to copy this and the footer and put it in the footer. Yeah, so now the two required components are developed. So anyway, all other components we are going to use as standard components, so no need to develop new components. These two components are enough. Okay, so now what we need to do is like um, uh, now we need to define the template author user. So let's create a template author user and also author, because I am right now I am logged in as an administrator. Let us use a separate template author user and author user, so the template author can configure the template and the author can like configure the page. So for that let me go into this one. Okay, go into this operations, then security, create a user. Okay, let me create a new user. Okay, I'm going to name this as a demo template author. Password also same. Okay, that's fine. Other details I'm ignoring. So just add this user to template group. Yeah, template author, sorry, template author. Save and close. Okay, this is done. Now I need to create another user. Yeah, so I'm going to create demo author here. Okay, demo author, this one. I'm not going to add it into any group, that's fine, because anyway in real scenario you have to configure with the group, but I am going to provide the permissions directly for the scenario. So go back. Okay, so again to permissions. Okay, select the user. I am going to directly provide the access to the user. So demo author. Yeah, so now I am going to add the you see I am going to put the complete path. So now I am going to give all. Yeah, no, not read. I will give. Yeah, for complete read access. Now what we need to do is like for the specific content path we need to provide. Yeah, this is fine. Add this. Okay, now one more thing, slash content slash editable template demo. Yeah, I'm going to, for this path I'm going to give the all full access for the author. Okay, this is fine now. Two users are configured now. So now what we need to do is we need to log in as a template author and like configure the template. So let me go into submit to window. Okay, demo template author. Okay, same password. Yeah, this is fine. Now what you do is go here again. There's a templates. Click on this. Okay. Go under this folder editable demo. So there is a default template, but I am not going to use that. Create a new template. Now select the page rendering component. So sorry, this is a template type. So it's a default template type we are going to use. This is a generic template type anyway. So landing page. Just say landing page. Click on next. This. Okay, this is the root layout container. So what we need to do is like click on this one. This is the policy. So we need to enable the required components. What I am going to enable is in the root layout container. You can add another layout container, and inside that you can add the component. But for my for demo, what I am going to do is the header. Yeah, header is already anyhow added. Then like let me check the footer also added. Footer also added. So in layout container I need to check. Yeah, it's not added. Yeah, just add the layout container also, because we need inside the root layout container we need another layout container. So click on this. This is fine. Now what I will do is go and click on this. Select the header. Yes, just add the header came in. That's looking fine. Now what I need to do is maybe let me go to the page. So now I need to configure this section. So I have one image and one text. So for that what I will do is I will add one layout container first. Okay, sometimes this won't work it. You need to refresh the page. So okay, go here. Now you check for layout container. Yes, it's there. Okay, now enable the layout container component to this layout container. So go and click on this policy. Okay, search for layout container. Put this, then enter the policy name as maybe top panel. Okay, that's fine. Responsive settings, change the value to 16 here. Okay. Now here go and add two layout containers. Yes, we need two sections. Okay, fine. Now configure this as required. Okay, this is fine. Now we need to bring this to the previous line. For that I need one space here. Okay, this is done. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to configure the components here. So go to the policies. So I'm going to allow only, maybe I will say top image something. So then I'm going to allow only a image component here. So from here I will only allow the image component. That's it. Okay, allow. Now you have to unlock this one. So because it's locked. Locked means the authors can't use this. So you have to unlock. Yeah. Now allow the components image, so that the author can add the image component and configure it. The same way you go here. So go to this. Now I will say top something like text. So here you can say text. Yeah, this is for just for demo. You can add multiple components. So I will go to the editable demo. Select this text. Then now you have to unlock this also. allowed component text. Yeah, the first row is completed now. Now we will come back to this again, the root container. In the root container, now the next one what we need to configure is this section, this title. So I will add a component here. Maybe I will directly add this text component. Yeah. So again, like this text component, if you are directly adding, the author can only configure the images, but I will give a layout container to them. That's fine. So just delete this. Add a layout container again. Okay, layout container is added here. That's fine. Now what I need to do is I need to go to this. I will say teaser title. I will say here text component. Okay, you select the text component. This is fine. Yeah. Now if I go here, I will say unlock. Yeah, so now allowed component text. So this structure also completed. Now what we need to do is, if we go here, now I need to configure this section. So the teaser component section. So for that what I need to add one layout container inside root container. So click this plus layout container. Okay, configure the policy now. So this one maybe I can say teaser parent. Teaser parent will allow only layout container. Okay, responsive settings I will do 16. Okay, now this is now inside this I will add, maybe I need to refresh the page once. Okay, fine. Now if I go here, go and add layout container 1. Now again add the next layout container. Now add the next layout container. Okay, 3 layout containers are added. Now what I need to do is I need to arrange this. Select on this. I need to do one space here. Now it's a 16:1, so easy to arrange it. So I will keep it here. Now the next one. Okay, this is fine. Now again take this. Yeah, this one. This is fine now. Okay, this is arranged now. So same thing, what we need to do is go to the policies. So I can teaser child. Okay, I will go and allow the components. I will say teaser. That's it. Click on save. Now unlock this. Okay, do the same thing here. Yeah, here you don't want to create the new policy. I will use the same child policy here. That is a child. I will select. Just to click here. Now go and unlock this. Done. Same thing. Okay. Teaser child. Click on done. Unlock it. Okay. Fine, now done. Yeah, now that third row also done. Now what we need to do is, in the root container we need to add the footer. So just to go and select the footer. Yes, done. So now the page structuring is completed. So now what we need to do is one more thing to note here is, like, we need to enable this template for the page creation. So anyway, for me, my case is a sample project. It's already taken care, but I will show you. So go under the content. So let's say it's under content. Yeah, it's editable template. If you go under JCR content here, so there is a allowed templates property. So it's saying conf editable template settings wcn templates /dot star. So for this page, these templates are allowed. The templates under this particular folder is allowed. Okay, now like the template structure is created. Now one more step what we need to do is we need to enable the template. So for that what you do is go into the template. Yeah, I will go back. Okay, I will let me do, yeah, let's we will go here. Yeah, if you see now this status is wrapped, so just select this and enable. Okay, it's enabled now. So one more thing is there is option called publish. Once you are ready and it is ready to publish, you can publish it. Okay, now the template is ready. So what we need to do is now we need to create a page. So for that what I will do is maybe let me log out from this user, maybe admin user. I will log in with demo author. Okay, go under sites. Okay, editable demo. Maybe I will create some sample page here. Yeah, select the template. It's a landing page template. I will go next. Just I will name maybe landing page only. Create. Just open this page. Okay, now if you see the structure, you can see it clearly. There is a header, there is a footer, there is a top row, then like there is a middle row for title, then we have the bottom row. So what now we need to do is like the author can go and add the required components, but he will be able to, in this case, if you go plus, he will only allowed to add the image component. So now if you go to the image components, click on here, 1 second. Yeah, go to the image component and click configure. You can select whatever the image you need. Let me go with this image. This is fine, done. Now one more thing what we need to do, yeah, here the text. If you go here, you will see the text. I will go and just copy this text. I'm not going to do anything else for now. Okay, if you go here, just configure. Done. Okay, now this is done. Now what I need to do is I need to add a title here. For that what I will do is I go here, again test component, I will go to configure, so something like a sample info. I will make this as a header 1, heading 1, that's done. Yeah, this is fine. Now in this component, yeah, in this section you add a teaser, then you go here and again configure. So maybe I will go with the same image, then I will go and put a text description here, say sample 1. Done. Now the same thing I do it for here. Okay, any other image you can give, I will go with this text sample 2. Teaser, configure, drop text sample 3. Okay, done. Now if you see, preview this page, yes, it's looking as exactly what we are expecting. Maybe like there is some spaces and all that we can fix it later. So but one problem here is like now if you go here, so this is not like as expected response. If you see come down, see this is all in the same row even for the mobile view. So what we need to do is like desktop view is looking fine, maybe even as I already told you, 3 breakpoints. VM grid enable 3 breakpoints by default. So we need to configure the breakpoint like changes. So what for that what you do is go back to the template editor here. So edit this template again. Okay. So for that, what you can do is you can go to the layout mode here. Now if you see here, because I already enabled that emulator and all those configurations we were talking, so you can see the different devices here, desktop and this one. Anyway, here this is 3 breakpoints. One is desktop, then like all the phone, then tablet, maybe iPad we can consider. So what I will do is, for me iPad and desktop the same display is fine, but only problem for me is the phone. So I will go to the iPhone 4. Now if you see here, it's showing like two components like this. What I need is, it has to come in a single line. So for that there is option called float to new line. Click on that. Same thing with here, float to new line. But one problem here, because I manually changed that default grid to 16, so it will not take all the 16 grid, so it will only take the 12 grid. So even though it looks like it's taking complete, it is not. So what you have to do is manually just click once and do like this. So that's fine. Now if I go here, same thing, I do this, that's fine. Yeah, now the same you do it for here. Go here, select to new line, yeah, no, here do it for new line. It's fine. Do the same exercise here also. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, this is done. Now if you just to do this, okay, iPhone 4 the view looks like this, iPhone 6 Plus all same, iPad if you go, so this view is again same, like it will not change, we are fine with that. Go to the desktop, this is the view, yeah, it's the same view, there is no difference. So only the view is changed for now iPhone 5 or iPhone 4 or whatever the phone versions, it will display in this tagged manner. So now what we can do is, now go back to the page again, just to refresh it. Yeah, the desktop view is not changed, but what we do now is, like, let us just go to the, yeah, see, the mobile view is now changed, it's all stacked. Yeah, like this. If you want, we can hide the component in specific breakpoint. That can be done from here. Just click on the component and there is icon, this icon, like hide component, just click on that. So if you select this hide component option, so this particular component or this particular layout container will not be visible in that specific breakpoint. So here I am doing it for iPhone 4, so all the mobile it will be hidden, but the touch, the tablet and the desktop view, it will be visible. Okay, yeah, we configured the template author configured the template. Actually here developer created the template, basic template type, generic page rendering component. Using that, the template author created the template and configured the template, and the layouting and all things are completed. So then the author created the page based on that template and then configured the required content. So now that this page looking like what is expected at the final one. Okay, so this is fine now. Sometimes we may need to define the static structure, as a structure may not change after initial definition or due to different reason. Let's see how to do that. I am going to define the structure through Bootstrap. As a first step, we need to define the page rendering component. For that, what I am going to do is, I am going to copy this page rendering component, existing one, paste under this same folder structure. Yeah, I will rename this to page Bootstrap. The page, add a hyphen, Bootstrap. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, now we need to change some property, the JSR title at least. So go here, refresh it. Yeah, that's fine. Change it. Bootstrap I will add here. Yeah, other than that things are fine. Now one more thing is, like, we need to create a file with the name body.html. So to define the structure. Okay, this is fine. Now I have the structure already defined in Bootstrap. I will go here. This is the one, div, and this is the column and row defined in Bootstrap. So the same structure what we developed or implemented earlier through complete editable template options. So the template author was defining the structure, but here we are doing it through program. Okay, this is fine. Now the page rendering component is ready. Now we need to define a template type. So for that, what you do is go under /conf. So I will copy this empty page template type, whatever already I have. copy. Now I will go and paste it in the same thing. Okay, rename it. Now what I will put is introduction. I will put bootstrap. Yeah, this is fine. Now we need to change some of the properties. Maybe refresh it. So what we need to do is we need to change the, yeah, here this is fine. Go under the JCR content, change this description and title. Maybe I will just append bootstrap. Now this also opens the bootstrap. Yeah, this is fine. Now some more changes. Go under the structure, go under JCR content. You need to add the new page rendering component path here. So for that you can go and copy this. Yeah, this is one. Copy this. Come here. Yeah, here. Go and put this into, change this resource type. That's fine. Save that. One more place under initial also. Sorry. Yeah, initial JCR content. Okay, that's fine. This looks fine now. So now one more change we need to do is the mobile emulator. So we need to change that. We need to add this new page rendering component as part of the emulator configuration. So for that what we will do is like go back to apps, same place. Now config author, go and select this. So here if you resource types. Okay, sorry, I think earlier I did that, so I'll correct it. Just to do a plus here and add this. This is not required slash apps. Okay. Maybe I will correct the same thing in template type also. We don't need that tab slash apps. That's, even if you are adding that is fine, but let us go with the relative path. Okay, it is fine. Okay, now this is fine. Now the template type is ready. Now we need to define a template. A template can be defined even from here through repository, but otherwise we can the template author can create the template once, and anyhow like the template author should be defining the policies to enable the component. So better like let the template author create this template. So now what I will do is like let us create a template. So for that anyway I am going directly now with the administrator, because earlier demo in the video we seen that how template author will do that. So I'm not going to change the user now. So go to, yeah, go here. We already earlier created one like a template with the name landing page. Now create a new template. Yeah, select the new template type whatever we created. Now maybe I will put landing page bootstrap. Okay. Yeah, the template is ready. Sometimes it won't open it. What I will do is I will go in incognito window and open it. Okay, go under templates. Okay, and this should be opening now. Yeah, so it's fine. So the required structure is coming now. So looking fine, the header and other things. And now what we need to do is set the policy for each containers. So this is like go and select on the policy. So this policy maybe you can select from the existing one. I will select this top image here. So this will allow only the image. So select on that. Yeah, that's fine. It's already like unlocked because of it's you are directly added from the program. So it's unlocked, but the structure looking little different than what earlier we seen. So earlier, like if it is unlocked, it will show the components are like allowed here, but somehow like because manually added, so it's not, it's a little different. That's fine. Now go here. I will select the policy top text something will be there. Yeah, fine. Okay, that's fine. Now for this I need to add maybe teaser title something should be there. Yeah, that's fine. Now go here. This one is should be something teaser. Yeah, child. That's fine. Do the same thing here. Fine. Okay, now this is ready. So anyway, now author can like use this. Okay, let us enable the template. Go to this conf editable demo. So you can see the template status is draft. So just enable this. Okay, now we can create the page. So go to sites. Okay, go under editable template. Create. Okay, select the landing page bootstrap template. I will name it maybe again landing page. Same name. That's fine. Click on create. Open. Okay, now it's fine. The structure is coming. So now what author can do is the author can add the corresponding components. So here image. Now add here text. Add here again text. T-shirt. Add here the same thing. Okay, that's fine. Now let us configure the components. Okay, second. Let me configure the image. I will add this image. That's fine. All is done. Now let me put that text. Okay, that's done. Now here text. This also fine now. Now let me configure this teaser component. Put some text here, maybe description. Sample info 1. Fine. Then here, add this different image. Sample info 2. This is fine. Now the last one. Okay, fine. Go and keep sample info 3. Okay, fine. Okay, now the like a page is authored. So let us preview this. Okay, it's looking fine. Whatever the way it's expected. Now let us see whether how it is working in our mobile view. Yeah, that also looking fine. Okay, and now the structure is defined statically, and we created the page, and the page is looking as expected. What is the structure required? It's a static structure. Okay, this same is possible through AM Grid. So whatever we right now we developed through the Bootstrap Grid, but we can do the same thing through AM Grid also. So maybe let us look into this. So in the AEM grid, what we did is, like sorry, in the Bootstrap grid, what we did is like we structured it based on the Bootstrap column, and also we used this responsive grid as the placeholder. So if you see here, like earlier we used to use parses, but here like editable, whatever the earlier editable template we seen the scenario, like author, the template author, like configuring the layout. Here also still same responsive grid is used as a placeholder. Now you can see those structure, so row, column, and all those things. Now the same we can do through AEM grid. So for that, all the steps are going to be same. We need to define a page rendering component, then we need to define a template type, then like a template, author should be creating a template, configure the policy, then the author can use it to create the page. Now one different is the body.html, whatever the HTML or the bootstrap structure we had, that should be replaced with AEM grid structuring definition. So if you see here, yeah, the AEM grid, then we have something called AEM column. So yeah, you can see here AEM grid column. So AEM column defines the column, then AEM grid defines the row. So this helps us to define the same structure, but maybe little bit difference there, but you can achieve that over the same structure. So only different is like you need to add some additional CSS classes. One is this AEM grid column padding. So define this particular attribute. This would be done in the grid.less. So I already shown this grid.less. So you can just add this thing, the attribute with defines the grid getter width, then the padding. So what this will do is this will introduce the space between these two component or two layout container in a grid. So you can see there is a space between all this layout containers. So that will be this will be helping that. Second one is like so in the original page, because when we were doing through the template author, we did not consider this, but in the original page there was a space like in the top for this text. So that can be added by this custom style. In our custom style.css, we can add this container top padding, whatever. Now the third one is like if you see, this is in a center aligned. When the template author was configuring, he kept it in a center wherever required. But when we are doing through the code structuring, already the bootstrap taken care of that. But when we do through AEM grid, so same thing has to be taken care. But if we look at the mobile view, so that's fine, like it's a single row, that's not a problem. Even it will be fine with maybe an iPad view or something. If you go and see it, this looking fine. But in the desktop view, it should be central aligned. For that, what we do is we are creating a media query based configuration. This will be applied only with the min width 1201, means the desktop. Then there is a class defined dot top content. So then like display, this all fine. Then justify content center. So these two classes, if you go and find out, these two classes are used in this grid definition. So if you see here, in the second column, whatever I am saying, like I am saying top content. So also the AEM grid column is a standard class actually. So AEM's grid class. So there we are adding the additional padding. Okay, so like anyway, I am not going to show the demo for this. But anyhow, I will be like uploading this completed project into the GitHub, and I will be keeping the URL in the description. You can download it. Okay, this concludes the video. So we have seen how to use editable template along with layout container to design the website in AEM. So both the scenario we have seen, like a static structure and dynamic structure. Yeah, thanks all for watching the video. See you in the next video.